This gentleman is originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Please put your hands together for Dan, the comedian Rogers.
Thank you, thank you. I think I'm supposed to give this message to you that there's a car parked outside. It's got Texas license plates, cowhide seats. It's a Cadillac. It's got bull horns on the hood, spurs on the back seat. Automatic? No, there's a drunk under it trying to milk it. How y'all doing tonight? I had an opportunity to travel around a little bit, and I got up to the Kentucky Derby last year. Anybody make it to the Kentucky Derby? Yeah. I got to go to one of these little off races that they have, and I kind of want to tell you about it. Picture yourself at the races. Noon, hot, waiting for the T-bone stakes. 3 great jockeys and 3 great horses. The first horse to race, Cold Towel. The second horse to race, Pussy Willow, and a dark horse to race, My Dick. 3 great horses up on 3 great jockeys. Up on Cold Towel is Jockey Atkinson. Up on Pussy Willow is Jockey Carroll. And up on My Dick is Jockey Strout. They lead them to the stables now to ride them to the stables. Whoop, My Dick rises up, I can't get a start right now. Have to wait, they sit on My Dick back down. Cold Towel is standing there like a damp cloth. Pussy Willow is nervous and twitchery. And My Dick looks very cool. Wait a minute, the rider has gotten off My Dick, and A Crab will ride my Dick and place it Jockey Strap. Mark that on your score sheet. That's A. Arthur Crab. And I like for you, the Crab family has produced some of the greatest riders America's ever known. And if you've got an ounce of sporting blood in you at all, you've seen A. Crab or one of their brothers ride before. They're owned and operated by Mrs. Murray Ormond. Okay, the Crab digs in for the start. They got them all in the gate. Ring and off, and it's Cold Towel, and My Dick coming on the rail, and it's Cold Towel on the outside, Pussy on the inside, and My Dick on the outside. They're coming on 1-2 turn, it's My Dick on the inside, and then My Dick's on the outside, it's Cold Towel on the outside, and oh, My Dick slipped and fell. Wait a minute. It's Cold Towel on the inside of Pussy Willow, and Pussy Willow trying hard to hold back, and they're coming around my 3 turn. It's Cold Towel passing Pussy Willow. And it's My Dick on the inside now. My Dick has moved to the outside. Now My Dick shifted back to the inside, and it's moving up on Pussy Willow. But it's My Dick on the inside now, and now he's shifted to the outside, and it's Cold Towel falling out of the race, and Pussy Willow's taking the edge. And they're coming around the clubhouse turn. It's My Dick on the outside, and Cold Towel on the outside. They're coming across the clubhouse turn. It's My Dick on the inside. Now My Dick is moving to the inside. It's passing Cold Towel, moving to the inside of Pussy Willow. Pussy Willow's trying hard to hold back, but it's My Dick coming on the inside, and they're coming across the wire. Ding! My Dick by head. Wins every time. Thank you. You know, it's good to be back here at Crackers Comedy Club where the men are men and the women are proud of it. Because I had an opportunity to go to Las Vegas a while back. I went to Las Vegas, but I took a little side trip to Hollywood, and they got some real strange clubs over there, and I noticed it right away. A buddy of mine took me to a club, and we went inside, and we was having a pretty good time, you know, but I was looking around kind of noticing things, you know, because I noticed things were different. I looked over in the corner, and I saw 2 guys holding hands. Looked over at the bar, and I saw 2 guys kissing. I said to this guy I was dancing with, but that's a strange place, you know. When I found out I could come to Tampa, I've been in Tampa about 9 years now, but when I had the opportunity to come to Tampa, you know, I had a job opportunity here, and I wanted to come in the worst way, and I did. Trans-Tennessee Airlines. Anybody ever flown on them? I wouldn't call that a cheap outfit. We'd been up in there about 10 minutes. The captain come back through the plane. He said, okay, anybody want to chip in for gas? They got real strict security measures, too. Of course, if you don't mind flying in the nude, you know, just watch the hot coffee. But one of their planes got hijacked to a foreign city. Yeah, Cleveland. Anybody from Cleveland here? Well, you're welcome to Florida because I'm from Tennessee and I'm a transplant myself. But that's not like Lutz Airlines. Anybody flown on Lutz Airlines? That's that real cheap economy outfit, you know. And I've been on a plane of, you know, you say goodbye to your friends. You taxi down to the end of the runway just far enough where your friends can't see you. Then you get off and get on a bus. Sure. And I told my buddies here in Tampa to dig me up a girl. They did. She still had the shovel marks on her face. 6 foot 9 inches tall and weighed 87 pounds. Looked like a hockey stick with hair. All the sweater would do for her is make her rich. I took her to the beach one day. She got sunburned on her back and her chest peeled. Oh. One of them. Yeah, one of them peeled. I don't know which one she got sunburned on. But she was, she was a pretty ugly girl. Matter of fact, one morning she got up. She didn't comb her hair, put on any makeup, didn't brush her teeth. She went to open up the door to get the dog, and he just threw up in the damn parking lot out there. I mean, it was terrible. She had a really funny way about eating, too. She didn't butter her toast. She buttered her lips and slid the toast in. I never figured that out. But I'm a married man now, and happily married man, and my wife's been trying all these beauty treatments, She's been working on it, trying to stay beautiful, through the married life. And she was using these mud packs for about a week, but then the mud came off. And she's been on 2 diets because she couldn't get enough to eat on one. Somebody tell her haul ass, she had to make 2 trips. I don't know, she was trying something new the other day, and she told me when the milkman come by to go out and get 32 quarts of milk. It was for beauty. So when the milkman came by, I ran outside, and I told him I needed 32 quarts of milk. He said, "What are you going to do with 32 quarts of milk?" And I said, "Well, my wife's going to take a bath in it. It makes her beautiful." He said, "Pasteurized?" I said, "No, just up to her knees." I said, "She can splash the rest." Thank you. I want to tell you a little story about a little pet snake I used to have. If you know anything about snakes, snakes are known to live in a pit. And sometimes they're known to hiss in their pit. And this is little stories about a little snake named Petey. And one day Petey's mom was going off for a trip, and she told Petey, "Whatever you do, don't hiss in the pit. If you have to hiss in the pit, you go over to Mrs. Potts' pit and hiss in it." So she was gone a little while, and finally little Petey, he just had to hiss. So he goes over to Mrs. Potts' pit, and Mrs. Potts wasn't home, so he just went on inside and hissed in it. A little while, passed by, and Mrs. Potts came home, and she came inside, and she noticed that Pete was there, and that her pit was full of hiss. She says, "Pete, what are you doing in my pit?" And he said, "Well, my mama told me that she's going to go off for a while, and that if I had to hiss, to come over and hiss in your pit. And I came over here, and you weren't here, so I just came on inside and hissed in it." She said, "I don't want your hiss in my pit. If you want to hiss, you hiss in your own pit." So Petey crawled back home, and he still had some hissing to do, so he just hissed in his own pit. His mom came home, and she came inside, and she noticed that there was hiss in her pit. And she says, "Pete, I thought I told you to hiss in Mrs. Potts' pit." He said, "Well, I went over to Mrs. Potts' pit, and I hissed in it, and she came home, and she got mad, and said she didn't want our hiss in her pit. She said if I had to hiss in my own pit. So I came back home and hissed in it." She said that up at Mrs. Potts. I can remember her when she didn't have a pit to hiss in.
All right.
Thank you. Good night. More? What?
Give us some more, Mr. Keep it going, Mr. Dan Rogers. Mr. Dan Rogers.